Hello everyone and welcome to the FullerWatt Podcast. My name's Chris Watt and I'm joined by my verbal sparring partner, Gavin Fuller. Gav, how are you?
Good afternoon, Chris. How are you, my man?
Yeah, I'm really good. Thanks for having me over. This is pretty exciting, getting the first FullerWatt Podcast finally recorded.
Yes, from an inception to, from a dream to inception to here we are.
Yeah, absolutely. So you and I actually commentated a few fights on the last Road to Legends, the all-female card, the takeover. So the commentary went pretty well, and we sort of jokingly after a couple of beers said, "Oh, we should do a podcast." And here we are.
That's right. And I just want to talk about that because I thought Jess did a really good job matchmaking. And how good was that all-female card?
It was probably one of the best atmospheres I felt at a fight show in quite a long time. I feel like the Italian club there in Perth is probably one of the great venues for amateur fights. It's like a little cauldron, isn't it? It really keeps the energy locked in there. And the girls really brought the heat for the fights too, didn't they?
Well, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, we had we had some cracking fights. And yeah, what an unbelievable night. And yeah, just as you rightly said, we were on commentary together and said, yeah, let's have a crack at this. So yeah, we had a bit of a laugh and then bit of a joke. It's turned into the FullerWatt Podcast.
Yeah, here we are. No, it's really exciting. So one of the first things I wanted to talk to you about, Gav, was I don't know a lot about your history in Muay Thai. So I guess could you give us a little bit of a rundown of how you started? Obviously making the move from the UK to Australia. Just give us a little rundown.
Easy, yeah, sure, no problem. So yeah, I started when I was 15 back in Leeds, England, training under Michael Tobin, which the gym back then was called Nonki Payuf. There was 3 gyms, Dean White's gym in Ossett, which was the founder. Then there was Michael Tobin's gym, Nonki Payuf in Leeds, and then there was Vinnie Shawman, Nonki Payuf in Manchester. So there was a conglomerate of about 3 big gyms. We had 96 champions across all 3 gyms and were Gym of the Year in 2007. Some of the, probably not the golden era, but some of the best fighters to come out of those gyms, Kev Harper, Gav Sterrett, Liam Raktu, Dale White, Simon Chu, Maria Chu, Danny Brown. Dean was probably one of the first coaches in the UK which had a good, strong gym. There was probably 3 around at the time that I knew of, which was Wicker Camp in Sheffield, Bad Company Gym in Leeds, which is where Liam and Andy and Jordan were from. And then there was Dean White's gym and Michael Tobin's gym that I knew of at the time. This is before social media and phones and Instagram. And we had Axe Kickboxing, which was the major forum for fights and for uploads and stuff. But yeah, I started at 15. My school friend Keela Tobin, her brother Michael Tobin, he was on TV one night getting ready for a fight. He was doing calendar TV programs, hitting pads, shadowboxing, sponsored by one of our designer clothes that we liked, Nicholas Deakins, with some shoes that he was sponsored by. And I remember seeing him on calendar just getting ready to go to Belgium to fight for a European title, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And so I asked Keely, and she said, yeah, his gym's in Leeds near Margate. So yeah, I went down and trained and took my friends, Paul Clark and a few of my others from school, and we just never looked back really.
Yeah, fantastic. It was sort of meant to be, wasn't it, really?
Really good gym. And yourself, Chris?
So when I lived in Scotland, I used to do a bit of karate and things like that as a young pop. And then when we moved to Australia, I was kind of looking around for, another martial art to do or, carrying on maybe with the karate. And then we used to have on Foxtel on the Wednesday nights, they would show the fights from around Australia. There'd be like Evolution and, all the big shows from around Australia. And I remember just seeing it and just being like, wow, yeah, that's what I want to do, And pretty much where I used to get off the bus to go to school, there was a sign out the front that said Muay Thai here.
Nice.
And I just went
Not
in.
literally, but
Yeah, well, yeah. And just went and did a trial class and
Nice.
never looked back. That was it. Just absolutely fell in love with it. And
wow.
wanted to fight as soon as I could. And, that was it.
So you were 11 when you came across from Scotland at Aberdeen? So Aberdeen, tell everybody about Aberdeen, in September, October, November, how cold it is.
Oh, yeah, it's absolutely for a reason, isn't it? But, it was
big oil town, right? It's a big oil town, like
all offshore.
Chevron or Shell there, right?
Yeah.
It's a big oil town, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And but I was there last year, actually, just went back with Jess and the little one. We actually stopped in at the Aberdeen Combat Centre, so shout out to Pete. He's producing some of the best guys in the UK at the minute, out of Aberdeen. He's a fantastic coach and a really lovely guy. We sort of talked on Instagram but never actually met, and then shot him a message when he was over there, and he was kind enough to have us in and do some training. He's got some absolute killers in that gym, so one to watch out for the Aberdeen Combat Centre.
Nice. Yeah,
nice one. I guess you've obviously come over from the UK and seen sort of both scenes, Muay Thai scenes, pretty closely. What do you think is the big difference between the UK and the Oz Muay Thai scene?
Professionally, I don't think there's anything really in terms of pros. I think Australia's had some really good pros across across the decades, really, like the Riddlers, the Blairs, the Darren Kurovic. On the East Coast, you had the John Wayne Parrs, the Bruce McAfee's, who else have we got? Dan Daddy Cools. So some of the ones I looked up to. Who's from Mike Force's, from Mike Pease's gym. Sorry, Aaron Lee, Too Smooth Lee, Preacher, all those kind of guys. Pixie Burden. Yeah, those were the ones that I kind of watched, as you rightly said, through the evolution and from the golden era of in Muay Thai from Australia. But in terms of pros, probably not much difference. In terms of the amateur scene in the UK, I would probably say we're probably a bit more present, I would say. I don't know if it's because of the cold weather or if it's a lot more outdoor sports here in at least in WA, with cricket, AFL, rugby, football and whatnot. Whereas I think I've said it to a lot of people in the past when they've ever asked me the same question. I think in the UK the weather is pretty shit. Excuse my words, for 9-10 months of the year. You might get 2 or 3, maybe 3 months, 4 months if you're very lucky with summer, and then predominantly most people are inside doing indoor sports. So I think that's why the junior scene is pretty strong.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the UK.
Yeah, you definitely want to be doing an indoor sport over in the UK, right. Don't you? The weather's pretty average.
Pretty cold. I mean, we're in winter now. What do we get here? 0, maybe 1 or 2 in the morning, but we don't get the -5s or 6 and snows and it's absolutely freezing for 3 or 4 months.
Absolutely not. WA winter is a bit
mild,
of a laughable winter, is it?
Especially compared to Yorkshire and Aberdeen, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's great. That's awesome, Gav. So it's cool to sort of learn a little bit about you. Obviously, known you for a little while. It's cool to hear a little bit about your history in Muay Thai. Some big fights on the weekend. We had the one Friday night fights. You had a few of the guys from your gym are refs and judges and stuff on those shows, aren't they?
Yeah, Mehdi was there as one official, as a judge. Yeah, then I think a few of the gym went over to watch Alex, so we won't talk too much about that, but we saw Alex compete and he got a bit of an injury, so both you and I, Chris, would just like to say rest up and heal quickly, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. Hope he's back to full strength soon and gets back in there because, he's an awesome bloke and he's fantastic to watch fight, isn't he?
That's right.
Bit of a freak accident, wasn't it? Yeah. But hopefully, Al's back to full strength soon. What other fights did you catch on the card?
Good one. So, I watched the Freddie Haggerty one was pretty good. I think there was 2 knockdowns in round 1. Freddie Haggerty versus Kaichon. And I think there was... Freddie knocked his opponent down, and then Kaichon got Freddie back, and then the jump back up, and then in the last, I think it was in the last 30 seconds, Freddie Haggerty got Kaichon and just took him clean out. So that was a pretty exciting fight. Looked at Tepsaksin versus Yelty, blue mat from FA Group, the Belgian, who's now in Thailand, training out of FA Group. That was a pretty good fight. I actually thought Yelty was going to win that one, but he got out clinched, which was quite a surprise. So Tepsaksin was pretty strong in the clinch, and Yelty just couldn't find his range in the clinch. And then couldn't win on the outside, and Taksin just fought a very smart fight. The fight that I really enjoyed the most was Konsuk versus that Joachim Origari, I think is how you pronounce it, French Algerian. That was a great fight.
Braver man than me attempting to pronounce the names.
Yeah, Joachim Origari. Apologies, I've got that wrong. Joachim, but that was a great fight. Konsuk, who was formerly of FullerWatt, one of my favourite gyms with Compet. Those two fighters now, Konsuk and Compet, are now down in Pattaya, training out of Fairtex. And that was a really smart fight. Joachim was very aggressive, good strong hands, but Konsuk was very good with that strong left low kick and body kick. And I think that just took him over the line to get the win. But that was a great fight. And then some of the other fights I watched over the weekend was on RWS.
Danny Rodriguez back in action.
Yeah.
Coming back, was that his first one after a bit of time off?
I think he's had a bit of time off, but I think
broke his hand or something, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. And then now they're back in the tournament. But standouts for me were Rituida. He had a nice big strong knockout on the weekend. The Somtum, one of my favourite fighters. But I'm quite intrigued about the RWS tournament. There's some good categories. The welterweights, which is Max McVicker. Then you've got the super welterweights with Rituida and with Danny Rodriguez, and then you've also got the featherweights with Yotin as well. So there's and Ranachai. So there's there's obviously the women's as well. So there's some big groups.
You got
RWS.
Max versus Sajid coming up. It's probably a bit of a battle of they could say the winner of that, probably one of the strongest foreigners. Would you say?
Yeah, two former WBC world champions. I think that's, probably outside of the ties, that's probably one of the most exciting fights outside of one, that's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. So, I'm really looking forward to that one, Sajad versus Max on RWS.
It's one that's meant to have happened a couple of times and sort of fallen through, hasn't it? So,
That's right.
Wishing our friend Max all the best for that one. Exciting to see him on the big stage. It's all happening. What just sort of a little bit off topic to what we'd sort of said we're going to discuss. What do you think about you a fan of the One Championship small gloves?
Yeah,
we was obviously talking about the Freddie Haggerty fight. Knockdowns either way and then coming back is obviously very exciting. But on the flip of that, you also see a lot of handbrakes and things like that, don't you? It's a bit of a fine line. I guess it's exposure to the sport for people gets the highlight reel knockouts and stuff. But I sometimes worry a little bit about the longevity of the fighters. Do you have a strong opinion either way?
I think every promotion that does Muay Thai is putting it out there in a good positive light. I think there's positives and there's negatives. The profile of one is huge. The pays are really good and huge as well. The downside is not everybody can take 4 ounce punches. So there's that side to it as well. But the actual social media and how they're raising the profile of the sport is like a juggernaut, and it's brought all eyes to our sport really for the non
fanatic, I guess. For sure.
Non-fanatic.
Yeah, Muay Thai is definitely a lot more in the mainstream conscious now, I'd say, because of the work of One and things like that. And I suppose to an extent, the small gloves, your casual fan wants to watch it a little bit more, don't they?
That's right. And for me, it's like when you want to go get a coffee, you can have a flat white, a cappuccino, a long black. You can go to Thailand, watch 3-round fights, RWS. You can go to Channel 7 and watch a traditional 5-round fight for a Channel 7 belt. You can go and watch One FC on a Friday night and watch, One FC in 4 ounce gloves, entertaining. You're guaranteed someone's going to have a knockout. So, there's different flavors of Muay Thai, as I call it nowadays, rather than your traditional 5 rounds or your 3-rounders, which were, more K1, but with elbows. When Rob was doing Max Muay Thai, Max Muay Thai was on every night, and, there was some knockdowns, and they were always great, entertaining fights as well. So
that's a really good point you make, actually, that I'd not really thought about. You can have a little bit of whatever you want, can't you?
You've got your traditional, as I said, with Channel 7, and there's a few other shows. I think they have a Monday night show at one of the stadiums. I think it's a Samai show. You get 5-round fights there, so you can still get 5-round traditional fights with gambling if that's what you want to watch, or if you want to watch superstars, like, One's got all the superstars now. Like, you saw the weekend we had Haggerty and Superlek, in the ring facing off for their big fight in Denver. You've got Liam Harrison coming up versus Sexan. So
Yeah.
all the big fights are happening on one, you know.
That's one not to be missed, is it? The Liam and Sexan fight. It's pretty cool as well. I think that, that's almost a fight that kind of the fans have really asked for. And I would say, I can't remember.
And Liam's wanted it.
Yeah,
for a while as well.
obviously, campaigned very hard for it as well. But
and I'm glad he's got it. So it's legend versus legend, really. You know, I think Liam's 8 or 9 times world champion. Sexan's, Radja champion, WBC champion. I think he's
been on a tear since coming to one, hasn't he? He's really got the style for it, doesn't he? Just small gloves coming forward.
The man who yields to no one. But but in answer to your question, as long as fighters don't get hurt and they come out safe, and then I do know that ONE FC look after their fighters, if they get injured or they don't get injured. Sorry. So as I said, you can choose to watch whatever you want to watch. If you're a Muay Thai fan, you'll choose the best out of all of them, really, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point, and not an angle I'd thought about it as. So yeah, thanks. It's pretty insightful, that. Moving on, talking about Sexan as well. We've got Sexan versus Liam Harrison in Denver.
Yes.
So he's going to have that fight, and then in November he's over in Australia, isn't he, for his Australia tour?
Yes, Perth, Melbourne and Sydney in November, yep. So, I just checked in with him yesterday because I know he's been busy getting ready for his fight with Sexan, so I just wanted to check, see if he's still coming, and we're all still the green light. So I'll start helping him get ready for his seminars. I think he's going to do about 10 days, so Perth, Melbourne and Sydney, and then I think he's going to come back in 2025 to do more of a Adelaide, Brisbane, Canberra, because he's been in demand. So
it's pretty big country to do all in one go, isn't it? But
I think he'll see that once he comes and gets the sense of flying around the States.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully we can get Liam on in person once he's here and does his Perth tour. So
that would be amazing. Yeah,
shout out to him and good luck for his Sexan fight. That's definitely one not to miss, isn't it?
That's right.
This is good, Gav. I feel like we've covered all the points so far, haven't we?
Yeah, for our first podcast. Yeah, I mean, you're going away for a couple of weeks to Italy.
Yeah,
the big boss.
I'll be coming back looking like I ate Chris.
That'll be a good excuse for you to get back in the gym.
Yeah, did some furious training this last week. Put off the holiday shred to the very last minute, but we're here now. So we leave on Tuesday. We're away for about a month or so. So
nice.
Probably be a little bit of a pause after this first one gets released, but I'm pretty excited to get stuck in and make this a regular thing. And I think that we're talking about watching the ONE fights and doing the sort of live commentary with it or something like that. So
pretty cool.
Plenty of exciting things to come on the FullerWatt podcast, I'm sure.
Yeah, so we've got one other thing I'd like to do. So we've got an amazing Muay Thai masterclass coming up in September. Don't know if anybody saw it, but there was one in London where they had Superborn and Nongo and Petitjar, which was pretty good at the Hilton Hotel in London. And I spoke to Kevin Noon, the head of the Secretary General of the WBC, and they were looking at cities in Australia to choose. And I tried to say, look, Perth's close to Thailand. We've got a lot of gyms here. And I think we'd really be receptacles to having a master class here. So so we've got Petitjar, Panpayak, and Namsak Noy, the Emperor. So
nice,
golden era champion. Then we've got Panpayak, who's probably a modern.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Panpayak. Love watching him.
Golden era, and not so much golden era, but Namsak Noy was the Emperor. Does a beautiful white crew if people have not seen him, former Lumpini champion, former WMC champion. Then you got Panpayak.
Nice. What's the date of that one again?
September 7th.
September 7th.
Palm Hill. Tickets are online now. It's $120.
Would you just go to the WBC website?
No, it's the Ticketek one. You get tickets online.
So if you go Ticketek, type in amazing Muay Thai Masterclass Perth.
That's right.
And away you go.
Yeah.
It's a full day thing though, isn't it?
Full day thing, yeah.
Three seminars?
Yeah, 3 seminars, breakfast, buffet, registration, lunch, seminars, quiz, closing seminar, and then closing quiz and giveaway prizes.
Yeah, nice. I think I'm back from 2 days before that. So bless you. Yeah, I'm back for about 2 days maybe. So I'll be attending that one with my eyes hanging out of my head, still on Italian time. But really looking forward to that one. And if you're not doing anything, thoroughly recommend get around it, because I would say, they don't come around too often, big events like that, do they? Not in Perth at the moment anyway.
That's right. I mean, not with having some of the legends that we're bringing across. It's pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Well, do you reckon that's about us, Gav?
Yeah, for this week.
Yeah. Thanks so much for your time. And
you too. Just get one out there first, get our content going, and then, we'll refine and we'll do a bit more. We'll hopefully get some guests on from Perth, from the WA Muay Thai scene.
Yeah.
Get a few interviews going. Once you come back from holiday, we'll get our studio up and running, and we'll invite people in.
I think this was a good first run. Thanks so much for listening if you've made it this far.
Yes.
And we'll catch you again soon.
Excellent. Thanks for your time, Chris. Have a good weekend.
You too.